Welcome to Kaleidoscope. Let's talk. Good Friday remembers the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. I am standing here at St. Andrew's, Scottskirk, and there was a stained glass window actually at the church that prompted me to think of something very different about Good Friday, the women at the crucifixion. While all four Gospels mention the presence of a group of female disciples at the crucifixion, there are different interpretations of how many and which women were present. But that's not all. I'd like to focus on the bigger picture. The New Testament has a lot of references to women, and it seems that Jesus definitely didn't have a problem with women. But can the same be said for the others? Today with me at St. Andrew's, Scottskirk is Pastor Dilhani Weerasooriya, and we spoke about the women at the cross. What do we know about which women were at the cross?
We are told in all four accounts in the Gospels that the women who followed Jesus' teachings followed him from Galilee to Jerusalem. And there was Mary, the mother of Jesus, Mary Magdalene, Mary, the mother of James and Joseph, and Salome. And there was Mary's sister, who was married to Cleophas, I think, and a few others were mentioned by name. The others, they said, watched at a distance.
There were, like you mentioned, there were the Marys who were there. What's with this name Mary, and why were the Marys themselves there and the others watching from a distance?
Mary seems to be a popular name at that time, and I think it was derived from Miriam. And Miriam was a slave during the time of the rule of Egypt. And here, it was the rule of Rome. I don't know whether there's anything in common there, but they say that Mary means beloved, rebellious, bitter, and I think it was derived from the Hebrew name Maria or Miriam.
What attitudes were held about women during that time?
Women were more seen and not heard, and it was because I think men took the leading role and women submitted. It was also because I believe in the Old Testament they thought that women will be protected and provided for by the men, and so women, sadly, they could not own property at that time, nor could they even testify in a court of law.
So given the laws and the gender politics and policies of that time, were women allowed to be at the crucifixion in this close proximity as we see them?
We are told in the Gospels that the women watched from a distance, but in the Gospel of John in chapter 19, John records that Jesus spoke to his mother from the cross, and he said, "Woman, behold your son." And he said to John, "Behold your mother." And John took care of Mary ever since. So John was a witness, and he recorded the fact that Mary was at the foot of the cross.
So what lessons, Dilhani, can we take from the women at the crucifixion?
Every woman, every man, we have been called by God. Each one, we have a calling on our lives, regardless of gender, genes, or generation. And when we hear that call, just as the women at the cross gave their hearts, followed Christ, they were willing to even lay down their lives for him. We too need to follow where the Master leads and be his hands, his feet, his heart of love to a lost and needy world.
One other thing, Dilhani, there are lots of women in the Bible, strong women who have held their own. Again, what lessons can we learn from them, given that they lived in an era when women were kept under and not allowed, like you said, were rather seen and not heard?
They understood who they were and whose they were. The most important thing is to know whose you are. They knew that they were daughters of God. They were equal with anyone because God made them in his own image. And so they were comfortable with themselves. Women need to be comfortable in who they are and what they are called to do. And so they didn't have to prove anything to anyone. They merely followed where they were led.
Kaleidoscope is on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Subscribe, follow, and do like us for more great content.